Hi there, welcome back to Good Sithkeeping. For this video, we are going to do another unboxing of the monthly subscription box for Maniology. This is not a sponsored video, I just really enjoy their product and I really enjoy the monthly boxes. As usual, the box comes with a card that explains what comes inside the box. And this one's kind of funny because there's a little section right here that explains that this is a color changing polish, and I did not realize that the first time through. And then here's kind of a little detailed card on an idea for how you can use the polish. I'm sorry to say that this video is a bit of a hot mess. I made quite a few mistakes during different parts of filming and swatching these, and I'll explain them as I go along. But for now, let's just go ahead and look at the two polishes that came with the November box. I don't know if I like the polishes more or the plates more, because really they're both just so fun, and I love seeing Maniology's ideas for the holidays that are coming up for each month. So for November, we're doing holiday themed items. And instead of having like red, white, green, anything like that, they chose this really pretty periwinkle color and this gorgeous champagne sort of silvery color. I'm really excited to use these. They are called Fleece and Frigid. So they definitely don't fit a quote-unquote Christmas theme, but I think that actually is a lot better. It's nice to have a non-denominational option, and they look really nice for a more wintry, cool theme. Okay, so this next part is actually pretty funny, or maybe it's just funny to me. But Maniology has a pineapple theme running throughout their products, and with this particular sticker, the pineapple, I think it's supposed to just have sunglasses, eyebrows, and a smile. But I swear, when I first saw it, I thought it was a pineapple wearing a bikini top and a belly button piercing, which doesn't make any sense, but it took me a long time to be able to unsee that. I'm going to save the stamping plates for last because those are always a little tougher to see and they're kind of the most exciting part of the box. This is the free gift that you get with the box this month, and they are tiny little gold gems, or little, not decals, but you can stick them on the nail for little accent pieces. And they are so tiny and cute, and they come in a bunch of different shapes. You have squares, teardrops, diamonds, etc. Now, I had such a tough time trying to capture these plates on the video this month. I don't know what was going on. My ring light was really glaring. I couldn't seem to get it in focus. So I ended up having to take a separate picture and then showing that after the fact. So you really can't tell, but there's like a little gingerbread man here and little reindeers. And so that one is kind of interesting. I'll show you later. But then this one is a little bit more just a print, you know, like all one sort of pattern. And then there's a Santa Claus with his sleigh. There you go. So this one's a lot easier to see. But I'll also show you throughout the video. I'm going to just put little inserts up in the top right corner of which plate I'm using for each nail swatch. So you might notice with this one, I'm starting off with the periwinkle color, and it's a lot thinner or kind of more watery than the paints usually are. I didn't realize until much later in the process that the reason for that is that these are the color changing nail polish, and apparently it's very cold in my room, and so this never looked any different than this sort of darker periwinkle color. As I've done in previous videos, I'm going to apply both the Maniology box colors over a black base and a white base so that you can see the difference over both. At first, I wasn't terribly impressed with this bluish periwinkle color, it's called Frigid, over the black base, but I really love it over the white base. So it turned out to be one of my favorite colors after doing these swatches. Now you're going to have to wait till the very end to see the experiment dipping these nails into hot water and cold water, and so that's just something to look forward to once we get to the end of the video. Now it's time to swatch the other color, this sort of silvery champagne color. It is called Fleece, and it's a very interesting color because it's kind of cool. It's not warm or gold really. It's not quite a rose gold. I would say that it's definitely more like a silver, and yet not quite. I'm testing out the little snow globe stamp, and it shows up really well over the black. So I think that this is a very successful pairing. You can see there's a little bit of a chunk that didn't transfer very well at the top there, but as far as stamps go, it was a pretty clean transfer. After this stamp, I'm going to stop talking for a little while, just play some music and speed up the video footage a little bit. There's really not much to say when I'm doing these swatches once you've seen kind of how the colors look and how the stamps are working. If you watched my last video, I had a lot of problems with picking up the stamp, transferring the stamp, and all of that. But this month wasn't nearly as bad. So I don't know if I was just having an off day last month or what's going on, but I think that these worked a lot better. Unfortunately, you can see that this fleece color doesn't look very bright over white, and so I had to take some pictures that you'll see at the end to make it show up better. So here are the black and white with fleece kind of side by side. Again, I'll show them again at the end where you can see them a little better. One of my favorite techniques with stamping is to do 2 or more colors and kind of have that gradient effect when you transfer the stamp to the nail. And with these 2 colors, I think it's really successful. You just have to find the right balance between whether or not you're going to have a black base or a white base. But I think even on the white base, it shows up pretty well. And when you see the pictures at the end, it really shows off both the paint color and the stamping. You can see I broke the stamp a little bit right there, but otherwise you can see the snowflakes really well, and I love those 2 colors together. And here they are side by side. But stay to the end because I'll have pictures where you can see them both in a lot better detail. And now we get to one of the other mistakes I made in this video. I'm using these solid balls here as just circles like they are, not really thinking about the fact that they actually go together with the print that I did earlier. You're supposed to choose these balls, place that down, then choose a different color with the ornaments that are next to it, and then place that over these balls. I promise I will demonstrate what that looks like in the later part of the video. After I filmed all of this footage, I had to set everything back up again so that I could do that with a different nail and really showcase why these plates are supposed to go together. It was just a silly mistake. I don't even know how I missed it. But for this nail, I ended up trying to use the text and with a white that I already had, and see how that looked over the champagne balls. It was not very successful. If you watched my previous video, you'll see that I've really struggled with stamping these plates that have words on them for some reason. They just get really muddy together and you can't even see what it says in the middle. I think it was supposed to say, "Santa, just bring me wine," and you really can't see that very well. I was so excited to try out these little gingerbread men. It's kind of hard to see, but there's 4 different gingerbread men poses, and I think 4 or 5 different like scarves and hats, and then 5 or 6 different facial expressions. So you can mix and match the different poses with different accessories and different expressions and get completely different little guys each time. You can see where I kind of messed up on this one, where the top of his head didn't transfer over, but that's totally okay in this case because you can just put a hat right on top and cover up the mistake. I love how this one turned out, and I definitely recommend this plate to anybody that likes really customizing the way their stamps look. Here you can see I just wanted to add a little bit more detail so that we didn't have just a plain white gingerbread man on a green nail, and so I tried to use the fleece color to make some snowflakes over his head. This metallic color is just very difficult to see over anything but the darkest base, so it's subtle but cute. Here you can see I'm pulling out my black polish that I had in my stash from before, and I'm going to try it on red. I know it's not a classic Christmas look, but I really love the way black and red look together, and I figured it might be a fun little experiment. I really like the way this stamp doesn't look so much like snowflakes as it does like lace, and so it's kind of like having black lace over a red background, and this one turned out to be so pretty. It's really one of my favorites that I did in this video. I wish I'd found a better way to showcase the red and the blue in this video, because those are both Holo Taco linear color polishes, and in the right lighting both of those colors have this beautiful rainbow effect, and even underneath the stamps you can still see it a little bit, and it's just so pretty. This blue with the white is pretty anyway, but it would be even cooler if you could see that sparkly rainbow effect that it has. This nail base is a super sparkly gold and silver glitter base. I wanted to test that out with a couple of different stamping polishes. If you watched last month's video, you would see that it also had a metallic stamping polish with it, which is the one on the right here, Cozy, and then this month is Fleece. You can see Cozy is a lot more gold compared to that silver cool tone of Fleece. I'd say the one on the right is a bit more of a, it's not rose gold because there's no pink hues to it, but it's definitely a warmer gold, and then Fleece is that cooler silvery champagne color. I figured the best way to compare the two is to put them on the same plate together and then apply that to the same base so that you can compare them both. I really love the effect of putting a solid stamp color over a really glittery base, especially white over like a silvery glitter. You can get some really cool effects that way, and I was hoping to achieve something like that with this swatch. Though I will say it was a bit of a risk trying something metallic over such a light color glitter base, and as you'll see, it was only half effective. The color that showed up best was actually not the color from this month, but is that goldish color on the top. I think that that showed up a lot better over the glitter, and you'll see it later in other pictures as well. And here I'm trying the bluish color over a silver holo. You can barely see the glitter effect on the nail swatch, and it's not as successful as I'd hoped it'd be. It might be better to do like a white base with the glitter and then do the stamp over that, but that's why we experiment. and I really like this color over that kind of glittery base, but you can see that it didn't transfer very well. At least this time you can actually see that the nail says Happy Holidays. And now we're finally coming back to the layering stamp techniques. So the idea being that we're going to use the red with the circles, put that down over the white, and then we'll use fleece on the ornament details and apply that over the red. I've done this technique before with other plates, and it's not terribly hard. It's just you have to be looking through your jelly stamper and make sure that you line things up well. And because the jelly stamper has some flex and stretch to it, it can be a little challenging to line everything up perfectly. But even if they don't line up perfectly, it's nothing to really stress about, because in art there are no accidents, right? And I think you can still get some really cute effects by having things just a little off. You'll see with this one, I didn't get it perfect, but I really like the way that this metallic fleece looked over the red. I think it gave a really cute little ornament detail, and if I had this on my own nails, I wouldn't be mad about it at all. This is the final stamp swatch that I'm doing for this video, and I will show this along with all the others at the end in close-up photos. But I nearly forgot about the gift that came with the November box. These little gold detail gems, I guess I'm just calling them gems, but they are just little metal studs, and I figured I'd just add a couple of those to one of the nails that I'd already swatched and just kind of show how tiny they are and how well they show up on the video. If I were applying these to my nail that I was planning on wearing for a week, I would definitely use nail glue instead of just a clear top coat. But for purposes of this video, the clear top coat works just fine. You can see that they have a top and a bottom side here, and so I was just trying to make sure that I put them down without any specific intent, just sort of placed a couple here with the little pyramid shape on top. I mean, look how tiny they are, but it's so cute, and I think you can do a lot of great nail art with these. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the color change experiment. In the right bowl, we have hot water, and in the left bowl, cold water. So you can see there's not much change at all by dipping into the cold water. And then the warm water, it definitely gets a lot lighter and kind of a more pink color. The problem that I had with this was that it doesn't stay light for very long. I mean, you can see how quickly it's already turned back to the cooler color. I do not have this video footage sped up in any way, so you're seeing this in real time, and this water had to be very hot to really have an effect. So it's not as if I could hold the nail with my hands and get that color change effect. So I think that the formula doesn't have a very wide range for changing that temperature. But even still, you can definitely see it if you were like washing your hands in hot water. You would see it warm up and turn into that pink color, and it looks so good on that white. And finally, here are the close-up images of all the swatches that I did in this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe for future videos where I might do other things other than just nail art.